Yo, what's up, people? Stan the dog man.
What up, what up? About to get some work in, about to get some work.
Yeah, oh snap, we got Oakley and Rocco in the back.
Got everybody. Juice back there too.
Oh, Juice back there in the back.
He in the kill. He like to chew shit up. He's still learning.
Oh yeah.
He's still learning.
All right, boy. It's Jamarcus here with Fit Bully TV. We're about to head over to the park. We're about to go shoot some stuff with Stan, get a lot of content today. About to do some bite work training. He's gonna teach me how to use the bite sleeve as well. Also, we're gonna work on some obedience training. I mean, all kinds of fun stuff that we're gonna be bringing to you live.
Well, Stan, it's not live. It's gonna be pre-recorded.
My bad. You're right. You're right. It is pre-recorded, but don't worry. We rarely cut out a lot of stuff. We try to feed you guys as much content as possible. So it's gonna be a lot of fun as always. I'm still learning. The dog space is something that I've now grown some interest in just by association, and every single day, every single time we meet with Stan, there's more and more layers that just keep getting peeled back that I'm learning about. And so for today, I know one of the things that he's gonna definitely work with me on, I have some questions on, is using like the bite sleeves. You guys have seen me in the bite suit. You guys definitely see me take some nice falls from these wonderful creatures back here. These fine specimen. Yeah, what's up, man? So yeah, I definitely have some questions on how to use the bite sleeve properly, how to use the whip, all that kind of stuff, because as always, you know, these are just new ways to help continue to work and better your dogs, not only from a protective standpoint, but also get them working, get them out there having fun, having a good time.
You develop a communication and a bond by doing this kind of stuff with your dogs. They gotta trust you, they gotta be there, and you gotta lead them in the direction that you want them to go. And the decoy is very, very, very important. It's one of the most important things, especially to have a confident dog, because the decoy can make or break a dog in that.
Yeah. And so to that point, man, you know, when you got these decoys out here working with these, like, does it help for you know, you to already have a previous relationship, or do you prefer that the decoy not have a previous relationship with the dogs?
I mean, it just really depends. So like a dog like Rocco, I'm not really worried about him knowing the decoys or anything like that, just because he's kind of finished and he kind of knows what to do already, so it doesn't really matter. Just like we are always going to use an experienced dog on an inexperienced decoy, because he was one of your first dogs that you ever caught. Yeah. Because he does know what he's supposed to do, and he does out and have all of the control stuff. With a newer dog like Juice, it's going to be more important that he does work with somebody who knows how to read the dog. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who knows the dog or ever worked with him or anything like that, but we want somebody who's going to build that dog's confidence up, because he's going through the motions, but as that puppy, you can ruin him really quickly. You can break his confidence, break his spirit, and you got to be able to read those kind of things. Okay. And you don't really learn those until you know, fuck up, mess up a couple of dogs and start recognizing, okay, you're putting too much pressure on, not enough pressure, you're not making them work hard, all of those kind of things, and that's just kind of the learning curve. So it's not super important they know the decoys, and ideally you want them to work with different people, because they're gonna have different styles. It's just like basketball. You practice against their teammates, and then you go play kids that you don't know, or men that you don't know, or women that you don't know. Gotcha. And you put all the skills that you learned in the practice and the play, and see how good you are.
So with your experience and working with other inexperienced people who have never put the bite suit on or bite sleeves, whatever, they come in to work with your dogs, or even other people's dogs for that matter, have you seen any, let's just go ahead and call it, you know, really bad experiences based off of that?
I mean, not really, just because they're not gonna know what to do, so they're more likely to not do anything. Gotcha. So if anything, like,
when you say not do anything, you mean the dog's not gonna do anything, or the person who's wearing the bite suit or the sleeve?
The person that's gonna, in the bite suit or the sleeve, they're just gonna kind of be more of a statue, so the dog's just gonna kind of go up and jump. So it's gonna be less likely that something's gonna go wrong in that case, especially if you do have a dog that knows what they're doing. Yeah. The problem happens when people get their egos in it and try to be a brick wall for the dog, and now these dogs are going, you know, 20 to 30 miles an hour and jumping up, and now they're hitting a wall. So it's very important, like, you never jam the dog. You always want to be absorbing. You want to be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. You know, you like just want to flow. Yeah. And that's the hardest part of finding the flow, because their dogs are coming so fast, and it's really hard to explain, okay, they're gonna launch when they do this small little twitch with their legs, until you go through it. So timing is very important whenever you're a decoy, and then again, just, you gotta go with the flow. I don't ever swing the dogs. I allow the dogs momentum to swing me, basically, and I just keep them from hitting too hard.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, stay tuned, people. We're now just getting here to the park. We're gonna unload. We'll definitely get this camera back on so you guys can see what we're doing today, and we'll walk you through everything that we're going through so that we can, of course, continue to not only better our dogs, but help you guys better your dogs.
Yes, sir.
Jamil, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right, boss, man. Doing all right. So, quick question, man. So, you know, first and foremost, you know, why dogs?
I'm scared of them.
Scared of them? Why were you scared of them?
Honestly, I didn't know a dog can be trained, so I just thought all dogs were the same. All dogs wanted to bite you. And then I figured it out that once they learn, once you build a bond with them, it's up from there.
And what was it that triggered, you know, your scarcity of dogs, if you will?
I think just growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, you just seen loose dogs running around.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. And what have you enjoyed about your experience so far and just working with Stan ever since you connected with him?
Just the learning process, really. Just like seeing the process of everything.
And what's been your favorite part about the whole bite sleeve and the bite suit process?
I guess you can get them to stop biting.
Oh, okay. Okay, man. And then you have any advice for people out there who maybe are scared of dogs?
I want to say just jump in there and just face your fear.
Okay.
That's really what you gotta do when you don't like something or you're scared of something.
Listen, people, normally we start off an episode and I say, hey, this is Tifa here with Fit Bully TV. What the fuck is going on? Jamarcus, we wanted to get him practicing, getting some stuff going. I want him to become a better producer and creating ideas. So putting people in position, even with the dogs, is key. A lot of times, believe it or not, I fall back so people can win. You need a medium. Okay.
V3?
Yeah, I got it. I got them all. So that being said, hopefully they got some good stuff. You know, they talked about some good things. You go see Jamarcus getting the sleeve that we purchased, and Stan kind of walk him through how to do that correctly. But you know, the key in building anything is to let people be a part of the process and put them in position. So let me get you a vest, then I get the resistance. We got some new stuff today. That's the point of this episode. First, we're gonna start with the first episode. We're going to put some new stuff to the test. Stan's gonna tell you how he feels about it. If he feels like it's working more, helping more, I'll tell you right now, I walk Ego at least a mile or two, and he can run for a mile easy, if not 2 miles. Most bullies can't do that. Yesterday we put an episode, 45 minutes in the front yard, he was biting and playing on stuff. The average bully can't do that. So when you see him get on that resistance band and have to pull, he wore out. And he started there and still was playing for 45 minutes.
Okay, sounds interesting.
So stay tuned, people. We're gonna break out these toys. We'll show you. We'll walk you through what each one of them does and the importance of it. And let Stan does what he does the best. All right.
That's fine. But I'm gonna use my pillow concoction too. So I know Rocco probably got my weight. You know the thing where it pulls the thing down? I'm gonna set up my whole workout plan and be like, yo, Stan, what you think of this? That kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, we can do that with him, and then the Xdog stuff. We can
start with the Xdog stuff. Let's go. Yeah, we're going to put it. So look, people, it's imperative that your vest fits. Otherwise, the vest, it'll work, but it don't work as well as it should. Oakley's gonna be our test subject today for, again, look at this. Oh no, this is the wrong thing. This is the package for the vest. I got all the Xdog stuff. It's right here. Resistance bands. Goes up to about 60, 70 pounds. You double tie that dog back. That dog will be wore out, strung out like a crackhead.
Hey, if this vest goes missing, you don't know.
Like that red, don't you?
I love that red,
That
man.
red, don't you?
You don't know where it went. Come on, baby.
So how do you keep the same energy, man? I mean, it's almost like you do this day in, day out.
Well, you know, they say if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. So, I mean, and having the right people around you that keep that energy, keep you motivated, keep you doing different things with your dog, like Trevor, Twin, yourself, it keeps that spark there. When you have the wrong people around, it's draining. If you have people that don't want to listen to you, it's draining. But when you have people that literally you see progression every time you come out and work with them, that motivates me. That's why I drive what I drive every weekend to come up here, because we get something out of it, and you know, it's iron sharpens iron.
Boom, there you go.
Yo, so people, the resistance band, Stan, I'm gonna do it 2 ways. Oakley's an advanced dog, so Stan likes for, meaning Xdog Stan, for it to start off with Now this tree clearly is a whopper. But that's step one. Attach that part, and then just when it's this long, this is 60 to 70 pounds. Put this hook here, and now mind you, if you put these on the back of your dog's vest, this thing right here, man, is reinforced, so it'll hook, it'll catch. Ego gets a little riled up, so I was trying to get off to that. I was like, damn, this thing's caught, but it's built different, meaning it's built to work. Come on, Stan. He's warming his dog up. Remember with the bungee, you see this right here? You want to slowly but surely lure your dog out. You do not want this thing to pull your dog back. You'll hurt your dog. So pace yourself. So what you start doing is get the dog familiar with it. Get it working at the ends, and it starts working those fixator muscles. Go ahead and put this on that top one, okay? Yeah.
You guys can already tell it's already working. Damn shoulders.
Some things are God given. I ain't got to barely do nothing for this. It's a gift and a curse. Okay. Now go ahead and get her going.
What is she doing? Biting twin? Just biting the pillows?
Yeah.
Down. Eat. Okay. Out.
Now, this is already different for me from what I've been waiting, which I've been using. It's interesting because Stan's already working the pole like a bungee, which is good. But there's still the resistance, right? So get her to the edge this time. And you know, like those girls that be doing those resistance bands, keep that constant tension. You want to aggravate her and get that tension where she's having to like work back and forth.
So we just want to see how far she can go on the first one. So now he's gonna scoot back. Okay. And now, so we want to make sure. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Back. So we want to make sure she's not going too far because we want her to know that she can get it. Now we're gonna make it harder for her to get it. Now she's gonna actually have to work for it, and we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. Is that why you initially, when you walked up right there to mark the line in the dirt?
Because if we can walk that far, when she starts going and trying to get it, she's probably going to stretch it another 2 to 3 feet after that.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be her range that she can get to. Get it high. So we want her to launch. Back. Down. Oakley, sit.
Want her to miss it?
Yeah, you can. Eat. Down. Eat. Come on. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Eat. Ooh, come on. Come on. Stop yourself. Come here. All right there. Ready? Eat. So don't worry about trying to absorb, just give her one because she can't swing.
Yeah.
So just give her a clear target and hold it up. Out.
So for those out there who do not know, their dog's limits and all that kind of stuff, I noticed that, you let her just launch right out there and then even let it retract back where it pulled her back. Like, I know some people will think about, like, is that safe? Is that unsafe? Like,
it's not safe when you got weights in this damn vest.
Yeah, make sure the vest is empty.
This is empty.
Okay.
Make sure the vest is empty, and like Trevor said, she's more of an experienced dog, so she's going to be competitive. So her coming back and getting flung is just going to make her want to go harder. A young dog like Ego is probably at that age that we could make him mess a couple times, but a dog like Juice, you don't want to discourage them. You want them to think every time that you're telling them to go eat, bite, take off, whatever your bite command is going to be, they can go and get that. And then once they get to that point of cockiness, then you make them miss a couple times, because now she's going harder and harder and harder because she knows that weak thing that she did, it didn't get her the success. So now she has to go harder.
Gotcha.
Back. Down. Back. Down. So angle it. There you go. Eat.
babies. Eat the babies. Good. Good.
Little me one.
All right, now I'm gonna double up.
Come here. Okay.
So a couple things, people. I'd imagine, because Stan thinks things through, meaning Xdog Stan, they both Stan Smith, it's the oddest thing in the world. You don't want this type of material, for instance. I don't even know what's under here, to be clear. If it's just a resistant band, rubbing against a tree like this, it'll wear down and potentially tear. So the objective in preserving this thing, is to put this type of contraption on it. So what I would normally do, or what I've been doing at the house, is just wrapping it around like this here, and then attaching a dog. But even now I'm trying to think, what's the best way possible to not have this thing rubbing against a tree so that this type of material doesn't tear? That's my concern, because I'm all about, I've got vests that the clasp had broken on the plastic side, which is why I introduced the Cobra clip before the vest fell apart, like they're 5 years old. So preservation is key.
So you're gonna create more resistance by doing what you're gonna.
Yeah, because you're doubling it up. So one band attached, 60 to 70 pounds. 2 bands attached, 120 pounds.
Now, but what about when you actually twirl them together?
That's a whole nother thing. We don't even know. He said he wondered, but what that does is cut the distance in half.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and do what we've been doing. I'm gonna braid them a little bit. All right, bring over here. Go ahead and attach these to the back.
To the side hooks?
Yeah.
Get the baby, get the baby.
Now people, fixator muscles, like stabilizer muscles. Muscles do what? They stabilize bones. When your joint becomes a mover, the joint degenerates. Makes sense? So when you're working and using a resistance band, you're working your stabilizer muscles, which indirectly helps stabilize that joint. That's what this is for. Or that's what you can use it for, to be clear. Ready? Watch. Eat.
Okay. Out. Good. Down. Down. A little further back. Probably right there is good.
So that first set is always your measurable distance, if you will.
Yes, sir. We want to see where she's at, how she's gonna pull, and then we can gauge it to get more out of it after that.
Gotcha.
You ready? Eat. Hey, come on, baby. Come on. That's that speed. Ready? Eat. Oh, come on, baby. Come on. There you go. You gotta work, mama. You gotta work for it. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Yeah. Good girl. Out. Okay. Out. 9. Back. Watch. Eat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on, eat. Yeah, baby.
Got it, baby.
Better work, Oak. Oak. Out. Good job. That's a beautiful. So one thing that I like to do after we do resistance bands or anything like that, I want to let the dog not have it and give her one, and then we'll end on that. So she still thinks in her head that she has it, so she's gonna explode, crash into it, get a good hit, and then we want to end on that, letting her know that level of intensity, that determination got her that win. So
A couple things too is staying straight in there and working like a bite dog, which is good. But when we start talking about muscle development, it's about holding that plank for about 15 minutes. That shit have you looking like a psychopath.
Yeah.
So the goal also, when we bring Ego out and show, let me see. There you go. You got your dog too, huh? But he needs a small.
yeah,
He
has a harness though.
I had to work with the harness, but we had like the 2 clips. I like the 2 clips better.
You can clip on the side.
They got both of them? Okay,
Sure.
it might work. So, that being said, if you can get that dog out to like where Ego's pulling, and he's like standing at like right at the edge right here, you work that thing, bruh, the dog's constantly in this state right here, like literally flexed. And I'm telling you, if you hold a weight up for about 10 to 15, put 15 pounds in your hand and hold that joker right here for as long as you can, that hand's coming down after about 2 minutes. And that's if you got that dog in you. So go ahead, but do what you're doing, because this is good. So perspective is Stan's handling his dog.
On the bite, keep her with.
No, don't even keep her, because then you giving her resistance.
Yeah.
So like I had Jamarcus yesterday, you want her agitated right at the place. So if I'm like, oh, I know she's right here, she can't get to it.
Okay.
But either way it goes, she's not slinging back. So he's literally, hey. She's literally, Ego's literally right here. And the bands, they at full. And mind you, if you held the bands out like this, we might do that. See who can hold the bands the longest. Just so you can see, that's some fucking resistance, man.
Hey, perception, man. We got to do it. I did the plank the other week.
Them bands is real, like real life. They thick.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep her at the end of it.
Yeah, and don't let her bite, because then you taking some resistance off.
Okay.
Now you holding her, you giving her some slack. Ready? Watch. Eat. Come on. Work. Come on. Eat it. Adam. She's smart. That's how Ego got him slipping yesterday. Ego got it, because they started anticipating. You see what I'm saying? That's why once you know where the edge is at, you got to get there and then be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But he thought he was close enough too.
Yeah.
Or far enough away. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
But would that moving side to side also come into play as well?
Yeah. Because you don't want to get fixated. So the other thing too, people, it's just like when you do drills and stuff, they have you working all that other stuff there. When your dog, in this case, we had Ego working around the tree. I'm tightening up this side, I'm tightening up that side, strengthening his hips. 70% of your dog's weight is carried up front, which is why it's also easier for them to tear an ACL. What often happens with everything below the body, the lower body is $1 billion industry. Hips, lower back, knees, ACL, every one of those is $1 billion industry for a reason. You use it all day, but you don't use it all day because you use it improperly. I'm gonna translate all this to fitness in the area in which I've lived for 15 plus years now, because your hips are everything. They're your control center for pain and prevention. If you have good hips, strong hips, you can prevent injury. So my thing is, how do I strengthen my dog's hips? Because if they got better hips, trust me, they're gonna jump higher, they're gonna run faster, they're gonna be more agile, more mobile. So I like the resistance band because, again, Ego's here at the edge, and everything he's doing when he's moving left to right, and that keeps him engaged too. Because this dog is too smart. So all of a sudden, she's like, I'm gonna fall back. He gonna come close, boom. But if you moving, now she's like, well, hold on, where's it? And she's still gonna think it. She gonna still catch you slipping. But she's working even more now. See what I'm saying? Ready? Sit. Watch. She know where to come back. She know where the resistance is. Come on, baby. Yeah, come on. She's thinking about everything. I love it though. Atta girl. Eat. Come on. Work. Eat. You see what you're seeing here? She's smart enough to come back here. I ain't got no weight there. Yeah. Atta girl. Come on. Eat. Work. There you go. Come on. Watch. Girl. Eat. You better watch your leg. She gonna grab when you can. Watch. He almost got my wrist, nigga. Come on, baby. Come on. Eat. Yes. Come on. Work. Atta girl. Eat it. Go. You got it. Pull her. Bite. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So one thing that I personally learned yesterday, and I'm gonna ask you about this as well too here in a second. But how important do you think it is also for the owner as well to keep up their conditioning, especially when we're talking about bite work? Stan.
Down. And conditioning for an owner is very important depending on what we're doing. If we're doing 40-yard sends, you got to go pick up your dog and you got to be in shape, because if not, that decoy is going to be working that dog while you're trying to catch up, and that's not fair to the decoy, even though they are going to be really good shape. Down.
Yeah. And I asked that one or two reasons why I asked that. I asked that one because I experienced it personally yesterday when I was on the other side doing what he was doing, running back and forth, sweating up. I mean, afterwards, I'm hands on my knees. I need a jug, get some water, all that stuff, because I was out of it. I was out of breath.
Yeah, it's a very physical sport.
It really is. And the other reason why I bring it up is from watching various shows like Top Dog for that matter. I mean, I'm not going to name names obviously, but I noticed that the dog could have won in a lot of different scenarios if they weren't waiting for their owner.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team effort. Like, a race car driver is only as good as him just driving. He can have the best of the best car, but if he don't know how to switch those gears, if he's not doing that properly at the highest level that he can be, that car's not going to be worth very much. And it's the same thing with our dogs. We can have these super high drive dogs, but if we can't channel that energy, if we can't be there with them when we need to be, they're just going to kind of do what they want to do. And like you said, we're going to hold them back from their full potential if we can't keep up sometimes.
Yeah. And to that point, my man, how are you feeling right now?
No, it's definitely a workout.
Do you keep yourself conditioned enough to handle all of this?
Yeah, I work out, treadmill, Stairmaster.
He's like, I gotta get that cardio in. But yeah, man, I mean, but being on this side of it, when you're moving back and forth, even when you're in that bite suit, I don't think people also understand when you're in that bite suit as well too.
Yeah, and that's heavy too.
How immobile you become.
Yeah.
You're literally waddling around like you're like the Michelin man up in this piece, and it is very, very exhausting.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it is heavy too. So good stuff, and we'll definitely break that bad boy out later, y'all, so y'all can see. So how do you measure his conditioning it's her, right?
Yeah.
How do you measure her conditioning as far as when she gets tired? Because another thing that I learned for the first time yesterday, I didn't realize dogs just sweat through their paws and their mouth.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at her tongue, you see how it's wide enough to cover her canines basically. Mm-hmm. She's tired, but this is again an experienced dog that we've ran 5 miles. We've done all this stuff, so I know she can keep going. If you don't know what your dog can do, this would be some time where you would want to stop, because again, you don't want to discourage the dog. You want them to want to do it. You don't want them to associate it with being exhausted. She's having a blast. She's not listening. She's doing amped up, all of this stuff, and like that's the mindset that we want her in when she's working. Hey, you can do it. Keep going. Keep going. Just don't ring that bell.
Gotcha. So if you have someone who's a novice or a beginner trying to get their dog into some resistance, just to get him to work out a little bit, what would you recommend? 1 to 2, maybe 3 reps or sets, if you will, or?
Yeah, I mean, I normally don't do anything more than 3 times in a row, just because again, we want to keep that consistency high. We want them to be efficient, and we don't want them to get bored with it, and we want them wanting more. So 3 times, put the dog up for 5-10 minutes. Let them catch their breath. When they get their tongue back in their mouth, bring them back out and do it again. And then you can build up to the point where you can do, stuff like this. Do it again, do it again, do it again. But again, you don't start there. It's just like lifting weights. If you go in there and you ain't lifted in a month and a year, and you go in there and do 700 reps or something, the next day you're gonna be like, I don't want to lift anymore. Same thing with the dogs. Keep it short, keep it fun, keep them wanting it, and always leave them wanting more, man. That's the biggest thing that you can do with your dogs.
Cool.
Y'all still working? Okay, so we're gonna switch. Put Jamil's dog out here. What do you think of the resistance? You give a breakdown of what you thought of it?
Mm-hmm.
Now we haven't answered about the resistance thing.
Oh, not the resistance, sorry.
Okay, go ahead, get to it.
Yeah.
All right, so thoughts on the resistance bands?
Like you said, she's in very good shape, and she's acts like she ran a mile or 2, so she's enjoying it. It does add that resistance that we're looking for. And again, we want her to be explosive. We want them to know that they're gonna explode out, and they have to explode out, because if not, they're gonna get flung back. So we want them to go 100 miles an hour every time, and this is gonna be a great tool for that, because if they don't, if they half-ass it, if they slack at all, they get pulled back. And that's what we want. We want them to know you gotta give everything you got every time you hear that command, because you might get pulled back if you slack a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever used any other tools like this before in the past?
Yeah, we've used the bungee cords before, and we teach them like we were originally started for the dog to launch, because again, if they're getting to that point and they slow down and they don't fully commit, they get pulled back. So we want them to understand when you hear that command, you gotta go and you gotta launch and you can't slow down.
Gotcha. And any differences or similarities compared to these resistance bands compared to other ones that you've used in the past?
These didn't break.
That's the first thing, is it fucking durable?
Yeah, so I had one, we were working this German Shepherd, and all I had was a clatter stick. And I'm like, oh, I wanna see if the dog's gonna come at me without me having sleeve and equipment, right? So I'm out there and I crack the whip or clatter stick, start clattering, and he goes and he hits the end of it, the resistance, and I'm like, oh, he's about to get flung back. And he keeps going, takes another step or two, and it popped. Boom! So at this point, all I have is a clatter stick and the dog wanting to come bite me. So I stick the stick in his mouth and grab his harness and like yell at his hand, like, get your ass over here! And you know, luckily we didn't catch any teeth at that time, but this one is still intact. So the durability is going to be very efficient again, because you don't want to not be safe in this. If something happens, yeah, it's just fun in games, but these dogs are going to bite some shit, and you may catch a tooth doing this. So you always want to make sure that you are prepared and you know what to do. And the most important thing is you can't panic in that situation. You got to keep your cool, because if you panic, you're bit.
Yeah. You saw her nipping me a little bit. I didn't been bit by quite a few dogs though, so I had to grab a nigga by the ear one time, and they said, bro, you gonna kill my dog? I said, your dog shouldn't have bit me. I'm holding the dog by his ear up here. I'll kill a dog. Just because I'm a nice guy. Now listen, we appreciate Stan putting this to the test again. Part one was putting the vest on Oakley, getting him to see what this band could do. Trust me, I like the band. This motherfucker's gonna get used at least 3 times a week with Ego alone. I like the affect of cardio and muscle. They're 2 different systems. Guys that can run all day, they're not me. But them niggas can't go in the gym all day, that's me. So when they're like, we about to go swim, I'm like, coach, I'm gonna sink like an anchor. Like, bro, about 2 laps in, I'm swolled up. But we go in that gym, I'm good. I'm good. I used to, when I was running cross country back in the day, I could swim some laps. I could swim now. I'm not telling you I can't swim. But about 2 laps in, boy, you like this. I'm not a normal sized human being, so. That being said, this is part 1. Stan putting the Xdog vest to the test with the new resistance band. Hopefully you like them, man. Shit, I like them just as much.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna have to cop me a couple of these.
Yeah, they're necessary, and that's another thing. I'm like, well, how far can we push this thing? How many more can I hook up to the damn dog that's coming too? I'm gonna push the shit out of these fucking animals. So now what we about to do is get the bite pillow out. I'm gonna find a tree, hang this booger up, and get Rocco pulling on that thing. What we've learned is when the dog grabs onto it, sometimes we're concerned, as I said in another episode last night, about the dog hitting the ground, right? If I hear myself hit the ground, I used to tell people to land softly. At 220 pounds back in the day, you wouldn't hear me hit the ground, and I'm coming off 50-something plus inches. Like, damn, how you do it? Because you absorb the ground with your hips. When your dog pounds on the ground all that over and over again, ACL, hips, MCL. I don't even know if the dog has an MCL yet. I haven't studied all the anatomy, but I'm presuming.
I would assume so.
Yeah, meniscus. That's how meniscus regulates the pressure between your femur and tibia. That's what it does. So every time you land into your knees, snap, crack, and pop.
Yeah, I tore mine in college.
Yeah. So landing's fucking everything. So it's like, what I learned is putting 40 pounds up there, my dog jumping up and grab it, he don't come right down every time, and then if he gets a good bite, he slowly retracts. So it's like preservation while also forcing him to work on his bite, and we see him reset, because he cannot hold it with the front teeth when you're holding up 40 pounds. And guess what? We can add more weight to that drag bag. So stay tuned while we get Rocco out, put Oakley up, and put this bag concoction out and put to the test. I'll put together this test.
That's bet. You want to give her a win?
Yeah.
All right, people, we're gonna go ahead and finish off with a win so we can leave her on a high. Let's see what that looks like. She's coming off the bungees. Oh yeah. Now she's gonna be extra springy, if you will. Got Jamil down here.
I got nothing on, Oakley. Leave me alone.
Good job, baby. Good job. Come here. Good.
Oh man. And that's what you call letting your dog leave on a win. Keep keeps their confidence up. Now he's gonna go put them away for a little bit, put her away, excuse me, for a little bit, so she can leave on that good high, catch her breath. He's gonna bring Oakley out, and then we're gonna go ahead and shoot part 2. And just stay tuned, people. It's good times.